Wow. Wow.
The
What up?
disrespect.
Sam, what up?
What up, boy?
Look, Sam, you gotta explain this. You gotta explain the Hunter hype for me. First off, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I'm playing my Steam Deck while I'm watching the stream, so I'm having a good time.
Oh man, you ain't had to rub the Steam Deck in that wound right there for me. You ain't had to do that. Hey, not right now, because I need to focus on. If I'm gonna get anything gaming related that's expensive, I need to get a capture card. I'm not a capture card. What's that thing called? The things that was expensive during the whole pandemic.
Graphics card?
Yeah, graphics card. I always call it a capture card. I have a capture card. I need a graphics card, and I need a good.
They're coming down in price. So it's looking good.
See, and I want to make that purchase, but I gotta move, so I can't make that purchase right now. That wouldn't be a smart investment for me. You feel me?
Yeah, you got to get away from that temptation.
Yeah, exactly. So how are you doing tonight, Sam? I see you got the Steam Deck on, but there's this thing called HunterxHunter that you love,
bro.
You love,
bro. The disrespect.
You gotta explain it to me, Sam. You got to.
So, I will be honest. You know, there's definitely a little bit of bias. I feel like HunterxHunter is kind of like my DBZ, or like my DBZ for you.
Okay.
And I grew up on DBZ, but like HunterxHunter is what kind of really like took my anime love to like the next level.
Okay, now you talking about the 2011 one or the 90s
2011.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching anime. Like, I would say the biggest anime that I liked was Naruto growing up, and I like watched like Inuyasha and Yu Yu Hakusho as well, like on Toonami. But when I like that was like more casual watching. But like the first show that I sat down, like opened up Crunchyroll and watched from like start to finish was HunterxHunter.
Okay.
But it's just like, it's wild. I mean, we're kind of in like a day and age where I feel like shonen's really evolving. It's like we look at things like, you know, Vinland Saga and Chainsaw Man, and these are considered shonen too. So it's kind of, we're in a different landscape.
I thought Vinland Saga was seinen.
No, Vinland Saga is seinen. My bad. Attack on Titan. That's a shonen.
Yeah.
And so that's one where it's like, you know, you think of like traditional shonen, you think of like a Naruto, you think of like a Bleach. So something that's like as mind bending is AOT. It's kind of wild to think about like how shonen is now. But you know, when you look at like the landscape of like how shonen was at the time before HunterxHunter came out, it was all pretty similar, pretty formulaic as far as like, you know, the character tropes, how it was. And
are we speaking anime, right?
Yeah. I mean, just like anime. Like I'm talking like you know, DBZ, even Yu Yu Hakusho, like Naruto, Bleach.
Because I know HunterxHunter came out in like the 90s. That's why I said that. Naruto was based on HunterxHunter.
Yeah. And I bring up, I know these shows came out later, so it's like, you know, trying to mimic some of the magic that HunterxHunter had, but still just kind of like paint the example of like what a formulaic shonen was like, you know. And
shout out to Gotti for the gift of sub to Sam. Shout out to Gotti.
Hey, oh, for real? Hey, appreciate that. Hey, let's go. I get to use the emotes in chat now. What was that? But like, so essentially my biggest point on like why I think HunterxHunter is so good is it's like it's like every shonen trope but perfected. So like, I think,
don't say that, Sam. That's how I think about Black Clover.
I mean, I really like Black Clover too, and I will be honest, I've only finished the like L4 arc. So like that's the last bit that I read of that. And I really enjoyed it. I just think the biggest strength I think HunterxHunter has is like the uniqueness of all the characters, and I think they're all like. And I know you're kind of roasting when we're doing like the best anime crews. You were kind of roasting the Phantom Troop, which I think some of your points was fair, but I think like the main like characters from different arcs are so memorable in HunterxHunter that I feel like it's kind of not as hit with like different shonen. So like the main four cast, I do think Gon is like a weak MC compared to other other shonens, which is definitely in my opinion the biggest weakness of HunterxHunter. I still think he's a good character though, but like the main forecast of like Killua, Gon, Kurapika, and Leoria, or whatever his name is, Leorio. I think they're like, you know, hella solid. They all can, and what's cool about them, I'm kind of going on a tangent, is like they can have their own little moments. Like Kurapika has his own arc that comes after like where the anime ends, and it's like just as strong. And he's like, you know, he's a side character, he's not even the main character, and that's kind of like
I've heard.
Yeah. It's kind of like Hunter x Hunter throughout the show. Like we'll spend a lot of time looking at like an antagonist or looking at like a side character with like Killua's family, or like just going into his character, or like, you know, the Chimera Ant arc, or Hisoka. All these different characters where they're not relying on just like spending time with Gon, who's like the main character. Where with like a lot of shonen, we just see them spending time focusing on like these characters, but really like there's no weakness as far as like the main cast of characters, and it's just like it's got everything, like a show, like super epic moments, like from a damn card game. Like even like the Greed Island arc is great, like the tournament.
Oh, I hate that arc.
Bro.
I only like the dodgeball scene. That's the only part of Greed Island I like.
Damn.
Oh, I also like when Gon lost his hand, but then they reverted it, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, they talk about Dragon Ball Z has no stakes. I'm like, nah, get Hunter x Hunter for that.
But come on, you know, it's like a video game. In the world of that, like they at least like they do it in a world where it makes sense. You know, they ain't gonna do it like real life. You know what I'm saying?
But let's talk about when he transforms though, and he gets brought back to life after he was supposed to die. No stakes.
Oh, like against Pito they were talking about?
Yes.
Bro, there is
no
stakes. He lost his power. He can't use Nen anymore.
But also at the end of the anime, just for the people who watch the anime, he technically accomplishes his goal that he set out for at the beginning of the series. So does he really need Nen now that he accomplished his goal?
Like to meet his dad?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know, because that's where the next arc starts is like focused on Kurapika and like Hisoka and going into like the new world or whatever they call it,
the Dark Continent.
World. Dark Continent. Exactly. So that's a good point. We don't really know what's gonna happen with Gon, and he kind of meets his dad, bro. But the Chimera Ant arc, dude,
that's the best written arc in my opinion. That's the best writing, but that pacing was horrible, at least in the anime version.
The pacing is rough in the anime, and that's why I'm glad like I reread it, because I felt like when you're reading it, you can kind of digest it a lot quicker and just flip through some of like the the exposition and get to kind of like, I'm not saying skip, but it's just easier to read real quickly and then move on to like the action or whatever. But like, I mean, exactly, like Kurapika, top 10 anime character. Like, you ask someone who's your favorite character from Hunter x Hunter, I guarantee you, like, we get 15 different answers in chat.
Okay, chat, I gotta ask y'all, for those who are in the Hunter x Hunter, who's your favorite character? Mine personally is Gon.
Yeah, Gon's great. I really like him too.
But that's because he gives me Goku vibes. He had to be inspired from Goku, Kid Goku, to be specific.
For sure, yeah. His like innocence. Oh my god, bro. Chat's trolling.
Tanjiro, oh, come on, bro. Leorio, Hisoka. Hisoka is definitely a fan favorite. Hisoka is one of my favorite characters.
Hisoka's my favorite.
I wanted Leorio to be my favorite character. I wanted him to be, but he just does not have enough time for him to be. That's the sad part. And Killua's, every e-girl, that's their favorite character, Killua. Oh my gosh, I wish I was Killua. No, shut up.
Bro, Killua's lit.
He is.
He's an assassin, bro.
He is. But my thing is, how did he not know about Nen, but all the rest of his family knew about Nen?
Bro, didn't he? I felt like, because he could do the shadow step. You know how he like does like the multiple...
Yeah, he did that in the Hunter exam.
Yeah, maybe he like knew about it, but like didn't know like the concept of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he was around a family of assassins who trained him since like birth, who was torturing him, putting poison in him. He don't know.
Yeah, they wild for that.
See,
they wild for that.
Kurapika is elite, my favorite. Kurapika's cool. I like him in York. York is definitely where he shines. And I heard that he goes hard in the Dark Continent arc. I don't know nothing about it, but I heard.
You telling me when he does the chains?
And
and that's so sick. Like Kurapika, he's like, I don't use these chains unless it's on the Phantom Troop. Like he made like a heart promise. So if he uses it, that boy gonna die.
But see, that's the thing. That was my criticism before I knew the manga went further. I'm like, if he can only use that, I'm like, then that means he's only gonna be good for this one arc. After that, he's one and done.
Bro, but he's still cold. It's just that technique.
Come on.
Bro, when he does the chains on that buff dude, come on.
Uvogen?
Yes,
Uvogen?
bro.
Hey, nah, Kurapika was hard when he brought that shovel to the fight. He was like, yo, this is for you. No, I was like, okay, yeah, this is it. This is that guy. He's that guy. I'm not gonna put no disrespect on his name.
He is that guy.
Definitely.
But and honestly, I think my last point is I think Miriam, the Chimera Ant like king, he's my favorite villain in anime.
All of anime?
Any anime, bro.
Come on.
I hated this man. And then when spoiler, when he's being held in the arms by the blind girl,
Komogi, I think that's her name.
Yeah, Komogi. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm bad with names. When he's being held in her arms, and they're like saying out the chess pieces, and then it just fades to black, and they both close their eyes, and they have the tear going down. Bro, I started crying.
See, I guess I wasn't as involved with Meruem because I'm like, you still caught all these. You still trying to catch bodies.
He did.
I'm like, I guess that was my thing. I get where they was going at it with, and I guess my thing is like for me with Meruem, and Tagashi obviously wrote Yu Yu Hakusho for those in the chat that didn't know. I'd rather a villain. If I had to pick one over the other, I'd put Toguro over Meruem.
Oh my bro. There's no way.
But I'm on the side of Yu Yu Hakusho over HunterxHunter.
He's cold. He's cold.
I'm on that side.
Dude, have you finished? Have you read reread Yu Yu Hakusho recently?
No, I only watched the anime. I'm gonna reread it after probably Naruto.
I say you reread it because I'm telling you, after the Dark Tournament, it really falls off.
Oh no! I always say that. I say at Dark Tournament is where it peaks. I say after that it just slowly declines.
Yeah.
That's why I say Toguro and the Dark Tournament is the best things for Yu Yu Hakusho. Obviously, Yusuke is. He's a great MC as well. But I always say like it peaks so early within the second arc that everything just goes lower. Like people try to argue me that Sensui was a better villain than Toguro. I'm like, no. I'm like, what are you talking about? No. And then the last arc, to me, Yu Yu Hakusho suffers that shonen jump curse where that last arc just isn't good. It don't hit as well. And especially the way it ends, I'm like, that was so lackluster. But that's just me.
It ended super quickly, and it ended so quickly. I was like, "There's something up with that." I looked it up, and supposedly his health was like super bad in that last bit. And he didn't even plan on finishing it, but he was like, "I got to," so he kind of rushed it out.
But then he want to start HunterxHunter? No, that's crazy. That's crazy,
bro. And so the thing that I love about that, the thing like Miriam is a better villain. I do think what's his name? It's not Toriko. It's
who? From Tagashi?
From Yu Yu Hakusho. No.
Toguro.
Glasses guy, Toguro, yeah. Toguro, yep. He's cold. And the fight, like the way that it concludes with Yusuke is so good.
Yes.
But Miriam, he has like I really like animes and mangas that have a little bit more like not like social commentary to like their characters and have a little bit like a deeper layer. So what I like about Miriam is he only values people based off of like their power ability. And meanwhile we get this like juxtaposition with like the person he's spending the most time with is this super like weak, blind woman who like physically she's got nothing. She don't stand a chance. But she's got this like mental strength and as well as like seeing him as a person because she can't see that he's like this evil ant. So that's why I kind of had the emotional grip with him because he at the end, not only is he like dying, just like you see this villain you have this connection with die, but also like that's when he has that mental shift of like value in a person doesn't come from just how strong they are, but also like there's just natural value in life in general.
And see, I like that. That's why I say that Chimera first. Oh wait, hold up a second. Shout out to the one gifted sub from Monet. Highly appreciate it. She knows who she is. But I also agree with you. This is one of the reasons why I say that the Chimera Ant arc is the best written arc overall. When it comes to the writing, the strengths are there. Like Meruem as a character, great. His bond with Komugi over time, him wanting just someone to challenge, and him not being able to beat somebody who was very weak and less powerful than him. Loved it. I love the turnaround of the main character of the series isn't the one to fight him, but someone else. And even the good guy that's supposed to be the big bat, I mean the biggest person of this, the Hunter Association, he dies. I mean, he accomplishes his goal of killing Meruem, but he dies. But within that, Meruem obviously realizes his mortality. He forgets all the things that's happening. Even his henchmen are like so confused as to what to do at some points. I did like that part. I like the part, like I said, I like the part of Gon. And you know, when everybody says online, Gon becomes the monster and the villain instead of Meruem, who becomes the human. It's like a reverse on the tropes. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I heard that a million times. Everybody on YouTube who has a platform tries to say that point. But I did like that. I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed the stakes that it did have. While I think that the transformation was kind of weak and kind of a butt pull that Tagashi likes to pull.
Bro, yeah, transformation is weak. He's so enraged by hate, bro.
But you gotta think though that
and this
okay,
so
okay, go ahead, spit.
Okay. What I was gonna say is like that's what I love about it, because he's just this extremely one-dimensional character that's like very, very filled with joy the whole show. Yeah. And the one thing that like crossed the line is his boys. Like, you don't mess with his boys. And someone crossed that they killed like his dad's like his mentor essentially. So he just has all this enraged hate that like. And he just lets it loose. That's why I kind of like that. Like, I felt like it was like a 180 of something that made sense since he was just so pure before then.
I agree. I think the one gripe I had with the anime, because I seen the 98 one, but I never watched it in full. But when I watched the 2011 one,
York too.
Yeah, I think so. But in the 2011 one, you know, at the beginning, it doesn't show Kite. So the first time you see Kite in the anime is during the beginning of the Chimera Ant arc. And so when he dies and Gon is so angry, when I first watched it, I'm like, I don't get why Gon is so angry. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I feel like he wasn't like this angry before with anybody else who was near death experience type thing. But I'm like, when it comes to this guy that you just met, you're just so enraged like this. Then I realized in the manga, Kite was in like the first volume. Like, he was at least in the first volume. And he was the only connection that Gon had to his father at that time. With the whole giving him his hunter card and all that type of stuff. So that was my gripe with the anime. But I think the transformation is weak. But also, I have a very high standard for a transformation. Like, to me, I think the Super Saiyan transformation, like when Goku goes Super Saiyan for the first time, it's the ultimate way to do a transformation in terms of writing. You lead up to it, you have the foreshadowing.
Krillin, he died? Was it Krillin? That's what...
But throughout that whole arc,
it's pretty similar. You know what I'm saying? Like,
nah. Throughout the whole arc, though, it's kind of like allured to. Like, Frieza's like you know, like, why did Frieza kill the whole Saiyan planet? He knew because if they came together, they'd be able to, you know, overthrow him type stuff. He kills them.
And then Vegeta kind of make messages like only like a Super Saiyan can kill Frieza. I got you. Yeah,
but then even then, throughout that whole arc, Vegeta's like, yo, like, you know, like Vegeta's whole plan of going to Earth was to kill Frieza, well, to get eternal life or whatever. And then like he's like, all right, cool, I can't get that. I just need to train hard enough. I need to learn how to like, I guess, boost myself or cheat the system to make myself stronger so I can become this legendary warrior that we don't know anything about, but we've heard legends of. And the one person that is able to attain it, even though he didn't grow up as a Saiyan, was Goku, only through the emotional rage and the ties and the bonds that he's created through all of Dragon Ball. Because Vegeta, unlike Goku, he doesn't have those emotional ties or bonds with anybody. He didn't even care when the Saiyan race got obliterated. He was like, oh, F them. So like when the transfer, and you know, like I said, this whole foreshadowing, this whole Vegeta's telling Frieza this whole time, I'm a Super Saiyan now. And then Frieza just whacks him all across the head. He's like, no, you're not. Then when Goku comes and becomes a Super Saiyan, it's like, all right, the emotional level was there. The foreshadowing was there, and just everything that led up to this arc was just great. But then again, I also think that the Frieza arc, well, the whole Frieza saga with the Saiyan arc and the Frieza arc are some of the best things in Shonen. That's also my thing, though, because the writing is so tight from there. I'm like, yo, this is it right here. This is crack.
I agree. Here's what I'll say. First of all, the transformation in DBZ definitely better than Gon's transformation. But that's kind of like the critical, you know, plot armor, like plot point of DBZ as far as like how fights advance past like a certain, threshold. Someone's got to get their ass beat, then they can go to the next Super Saiyan level. So that's kind of like the critical point as far as like how fights can mix things up, progress to something new. When like in Hunter x Hunter, that's really like the only time we see a transformation. Most of the time it's like this mental battle that's going on, like when Killua is fighting that one guard and they have to do like the hold their breath with the chameleon who goes invisible. They use like the timer with like the Fro guy. Like that's like this. They really like spent chapters building up how like this is going to be possible for them to beat him with all these different people's powers. So, but I give you that. Like Goku's that transformation, they built up to it. Talking about how like Super Saiyan was this myth. Everybody was worried about it. We get the Krillin death, and then also Goku got his ass beat before everybody's dead. So everybody is practically dead. I like Cell Saga more, by the way.
Why? I get why. I can see why. I just, me personally, I think Cell Saga is the second best arc because it finishes the whole storyline of what we started Dragon Ball Z out with Gohan. I'm like, all right, this is perfect. The Majin Buu arc happens. I like it because I grew up with it. But if I were to look at it now, which I have to do at some point, that brings Dragon Ball Z down a notch for me. But the Cell Saga to me isn't as strong compared to the Frieza and the Saiyan arc, but it's still a good arc overall. But only because the villain lacks substance for me. That's the only reason why.
I agree with you on that.
Like, he was literally built to kill Goku, and once he couldn't kill Goku, he was like, what the F, dude? Like, I literally did all this to come and fight you. You want to give up.
And I also heard, I can't remember if it was in a streamer or just a video where you're talking about how, like, now with Super around with all these, like, what was his name, Jiraiya or Jirai? Who's the bald guy? Pink guy? Jiren, like, Cell doesn't even match up to these guys anymore. So like, what, he beats Goku in the tournament, and then he like meets these other people. Like, the introduction of Super kind of even makes the tournament seem even more significant when you like look at the grand scope of power in DBZ.
But also, you for me, I don't take Dragon Ball Super as seriously. I'm pretty sure they don't take it as seriously either. It just gives them. I feel like Dragon Ball Super is literally just a chance to do way more world building with the Dragon Ball universe, because it's literally in the middle of the end of the Buu arc to the end of Z when Goku meets Oob. It's in between all that. So I'm like, really? Nothing serious. Yeah, because at the end of it, it's like, a few years have passed since Majin Buu's death, and they haven't met Oob yet. So this is all happening in between them. So I'm like, okay, there's nothing seriously gonna happen in here. So I'm like, they're gonna die. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, I don't take it as seriously, because I'm like, there's no stakes on this. Because at the end, Goku's supposed to meet Oob. He's supposed to fly off with Oob and train Oob to be the world's next protector, which I think is stupid in its own. But hey.
It is what it is. I will say